Hello there, Pursuing Freedom friends, and thanks for tuning in today. I'm so excited to have Ricky Carruth with us. He is from Orange Beach, Alabama, and he's with Remax Agent and has been #1 in his marketplace over and over again. But he's also the founder of Zero to Diamond, which is the fastest growing real estate coaching company out there. He's known as the only free real estate coach. And I have been sort of, not in a creepy way, but stalking Ricky on all different kinds of platforms as he has been giving value nonstop. And I just think it's fascinating what he's doing. He still loves selling real estate. He's going to do it until he's in the grave, in his words. And along the way, he's going to help other people get success as fast as possible. So I'm going to stop now and let Ricky introduce himself. So Ricky, tell us a little bit about your backstory. Like, when did you get into real estate? What did that look like? And how's your journey been that's led you to be inspired to help as many people as you've been helping today?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, thank you for having me. So I got in real estate when I was 20. It was 2002. I roofed houses with my father before that. By the time I'm 23, I'm a self-made millionaire. And of course, I was 23, a millionaire. So of course, I did a lot of stupid things. Bought a bunch of different cars and houses and bad investments that I thought were good investments. So when the market crashed, I lost everything. So I'm a millionaire at 23 and bankrupt at 25. I go back to roofing houses. I'm working on an oil rig and sleeping on friends' couches. I slept in my car a couple nights. And, during that time, I read 100 books. I was so curious of why I failed. What could I have done differently? How can I build this back and keep it next time? And I knew that I was going to figure it out, and it was only a matter of time before I would, build it back and build it back smarter, bigger, badder, stronger. So I was working on an oil rig, 2007, 2008, I get laid off from the oil rig. I'm kind of forced back into real estate, but by that time I kind of dabbled back into it. So 2008, I get back to selling. I didn't sell any properties between 2005 and 2008. I kept my license active. Didn't know what I was going to do. Didn't know if I'd really ever get back into real estate. I really didn't know. But I wanted to. So 2008 rolls around and I get laid off and I start selling properties again. And I just felt like a kid in candy. Like, I was so happy. It was a pretty gratifying moment to be back in real estate, doing what I love to do, helping people buy and sell properties. And just kind of took it from there. What I learned when the market crashed was that business is unlimited. You can't do all the deals forever. It doesn't matter if the market crashes. Closings happen every day, regardless of what the market does. There's more than you can handle forever. Okay, each real estate agent's a little dot in this huge sea of the market itself. So it doesn't matter if the market goes down 50%, 70%, 80%, 90%. You're still a little dot in a huge sea, regardless of what the market does or how much it crashes or whatever. So it's always unlimited if you're willing to get out there and talk to people and help people. So the biggest key thing I realized, and kind of the tagline of my coaching company, is relationships over transactions. The first half of my career was all about the closing, the deal, the money. I cared about people, but I was just trying to get them to do deals. At the end of the day, I was more concerned with the transactions over the relationships. And that was a big reason why I failed, because when the market was crashed and I was working on oil rig and I was paying attention to MLS, I noticed past clients that had done deals with me that were still doing deals. They were buying more properties at the bottom, or they were unloading properties that they overpaid for at the top. They were still doing deals. And so that was an eye-opener to me. And I said, if I would have maintained those relationships, I would have continued doing these deals. And so that's what I learned through the crash, is that closings keep happening. Business is unlimited, and, relationships over transactions. That's my main core principles. From there, once you understand all this, that competition doesn't exist. It doesn't matter if an agent's dominating a subdivision or that there's so many agents. None of that matters. What matters is that you're putting in the work to talk to as many people as you can about what in the world you can do to help them. And then you build off those relationships and you create your database, and it snowballs. So I started this process in 2008 when I got back in, building my business back the correct way. And it's just been it took me from there to 2014. So it took me 6 years to get to 100 deals a year as a single agent. And I've sold over 100 every year since. So in 2010, the BP oil spill hit. It was a mini recession. And I said, I'm gonna take everything I learned in the big crash and apply it to this mini crash and see if I'm right. And I was. I made more money. I went from 100,000 in 2009 to 150. So I made 50% more money in a down year because of the principles I learned in the big crash. And so that was my aha moment that I really had something. Like I was understanding something. I didn't have it all figured out, but I was on to something. And I just continued to build off of it. And then 2014 rolls around, I do 100 deals, 15, 16, 17, 18. This year, I'm already, I don't know where I'm at. I'm at a pretty big number. This is the best start I've ever had this year, 2019. And so I went 2014, I was like, great, 100 deals. That's what I wanted. 2015, great, 100 deals. But I didn't know if it was real because I lost it all the first time. And so I was like, I need to keep pushing here and make sure that this is real. 2016, I did it. 2017, I was like, okay, this is real. I think I really figured something out. I need to share this. So that's when I wrote the 2 books. I started speaking around the country, around the world now. I'm going to Brazil in a couple months. And I started coaching. So I started out charging for coaching. Through a long process, I realized I needed to go free. I flipped it to free. And we've been growing like crazy ever since. And the entire purpose of the coaching program is to reduce the failure rate in the real estate industry, one agent at a time. And I'm doing it. I'm getting messages all the time from agents saying they were about to have to quit until they found my content. And it's a real humbling, those are real humbling emails when I read those. And outside of that, I want to continue selling 100 properties a year and coaching thousands of agents. 11,000 agents are in the program and growing, like I said, every day. And I'm just having fun.
Awesome. So I have a lot of questions for you because that was amazing. That's an amazing journey. So just going back to the beginning, when you mentioned that, first of all, you mentioned that your strategies had to shift after coming back in 2008. So what does that mean exactly? Because it's not a small feat to say that I got into real estate at 20 and was a millionaire by 23. What was different during that time frame in your business to what sounds to me like a more authentic path for you? I mean, what was the shift? What was different in your activity or in the way you were doing business when you say I went from deals and transactions to relationships? Because I love that.
Well, there was 2 things. One is that the market itself was different. The general market, back in 2002 from 2002 to 2005, prices doubled, like property values doubled in that time frame. And so what this crazy as that market was, that's how I made all that money. It wasn't necessarily that I was doing something special and crazy or whatever. I kind of caught the wave of the market, so that's kind of why that happened. And then the second thing is, and of course the market now is a more healthy market, more stable market, and so, of course you're not going to do it that quick in today's market. You could. Actually, I'm doing way better than I was back then. But so there's the general market differences that was happening, but there was also the differences in how I, like you said, ran my business, which in the beginning was all about the deal, where I was asking people if they consider buying or selling, or do they know anybody that wants to buy or sell, and really trying to high pressure people in so many words. Whereas now, it doesn't matter to me if somebody buys or sells or not. They're going to at some point. My main thing is not do you want to buy or sell, it's what the world can do for you, and then build off that. And so I'm just in a different place where I believe that even new agents that don't have any deals going on, this isn't an experienced agent tactic. This is for everybody. New agents should also adopt this, because when you ask them if they want to buy or sell and you don't even know them, it's like you're invading their privacy. You're saying, hey, Mr. Seller, I don't know you, you don't know me, but will you tell me everything about your financial future, everything you're planning? They don't feel comfortable there, telling you what they want to do. They don't know you, right? And then if you don't, well, okay, can you give me a list of all your friends and family so that I can try to see what they want to do in the future? Even though you don't know me, people don't want to refer people they don't know or how they operate. I could be a scam artist. I could be somebody crazy. They don't know. And so the biggest thing is it's okay to ask people if they want to buy or sell or whatever the case may be, but we got to make the connection first. We got to see how they're doing, see what they're thinking, see what we can do to help them, and let them know that we're here for them, not just to do a deal and make them feel comfortable. Once we've established the connection, now we can go in for the do you want to buy, do you want to sell thing. People are using that high pressureness. You should be high pressure 5% of the time, 95% low pressure, 5% high pressure, but use that 5% after you connect it, because once you connect, the conversion is automatic.
Yeah, I agree. So let me ask you this then, because you've got a lot going on now. You mentioned 11,000 people. You mentioned speaking all over the world. I know that you're doing a ton of video. I mean, you're producing content and you're selling over 100 homes a year. So talk to me a little bit about when we talk about the activity, right? We all know we need to develop a database, and then we need to be in contact with that database, and we need to be providing value. How does your activity look today in terms, as compared to 10 years ago when you were ramping up again? Are you still on a daily basis engaging proactively, intentionally with a certain number of people? Are you structured? Is it organic? Like, how do you go about your own relationship building process?
Yeah, like it's two different worlds. When you're new and you don't have a database, and you have this huge database that I have. So it's totally two different things. But yes, you have to continue pushing. One of the biggest problems out there is that agents get a couple of clients on the hook, and then they put all their time and money and effort into those few clients, and they kind of quit going after new clients. And that's a big problem, because if you really want to grow, you have to balance your new clients and your old clients. There has to be a balance between the two. You can't just go after new clients and be a revolving door where you don't stay in touch with them, and you can't just work on your past clients where you have no new clients coming into your sphere. So you have to find that perfect balance between new and old. And it's always changing as your career develops, and you learn new things, you become more busy, less busy, markets change, different seasons. It's always changing around as far as how you diversify that balance between new and old clients. So to answer your question, yeah, I absolutely, like, I have a list right here. Here's my list of today, like all the priorities, all the people. These are real estate deals that I'm trying to put together and engage with people, and negotiations or listings I'm going after or whatever. And I keep a fresh list in front of me of everything that's most important and the people that I really need to be talking to or even thinking about, or whatever the case may be. So this year I'm trying to do 4 deals a week. And then you take off a couple weeks for vacations and whatever. I'm trying to do 182 deals. And so to me, that translates to 4 people that I helped, not just did a deal. And so I'm always looking to see who I can help, like, because people are always buying and selling. This is what agents really just don't understand. They think that it's just a limited market. It's scarcity, and there's only so much to go around. They don't realize the unlimitedness of it, and the fact that closings are happening every day. When you understand that closings happen every day, you don't have to worry about where's my next deal coming from, right? You worry about where your next deal is coming from when you're not doing what you need to do to try to create new business. Where's my next deal coming from? I don't know, because I'm not going to talk to anybody new. Yeah, that's a problem. But you have to find that balance between new and old, and it's different for new agents to older agents. I think that newer agents should do 3-hour call session 3 times a week. That's what they should commit to. And then if they can get a 4th or 5th in there, great. But 3 by 3, 3 hours, 3 days a week. And don't worry about the results. Don't worry about making this many calls or talking to this many people. Just put those 3 hours in and let whatever happens. If you don't get anything out of 3 hours, that's fine. You did what you're supposed to do, to talk to as many people as you could in that 3 hours. If you get tied to results, then you could be setting yourself up. You need to play mind tricks with yourself to be positive about the results, the outcome. Like, don't say I'm going to call 5 days a week, because it's kind of unrealistic. And then if you only call 4 days a week, you're down on yourself, right? Because you didn't hit that goal. But if you committed to 3 by 3, then and you hit that, you're like, great. And then if you did another one and you got 4 in, that same scenario as before, you got 4 in. Now you're happy because you got a little extra in. And so you have to play these mind tricks with yourself it's like losing deals. Losing deals gives you future time back that you can go get 5 more deals. But people use that future time sulking about the deal that got away.
Yeah.
Right? And so you have to play these mind tricks with yourself to really multiply your business and your time.
Well, what also is interesting about what you just say there is that, you know, when you're doing the activity, but you're worried about the results, what ends up happening is there's a lack of authenticity around the enjoyment of the connection you're having with people. And this is where I see a lot of agents get stuck because they don't pick up the phone because in their mind, they're doing it to get a deal, which is self-serving. And because it's self-serving, it doesn't feel good. And then it's not fun. And it's like, actually, what I find is when you put, like, in the beginning of my career, I used to make all the calls from the road, or when I was like doing dishes or something, because I couldn't bring myself to get the confidence to enjoy that process because I felt like it was something I had to do instead of something I could have fun doing. And now it's like I sit down at my desk, I get on the phone, I have fun sincerely connecting and finding ways to serve people in ways that have nothing to do with getting a deal. And then I go to the grocery store and bump into somebody who needs my services, right? So like the results come as a byproduct of doing the activity, but only if you're doing the activity in a way that's enjoyable and value adding and giving and all that. And then it flows and then you attract that success. Like, I don't know, like a lighthouse. So that's amazing. I do want to ask you, when you were going through the period of time that you were working on the oil rigs, and you mentioned that you read 100 books, which is the best advice I could ever hear someone give to anyone, because every single book is going to start with mindset. And in order to be successful in this industry or in any business in entrepreneurship, it all starts with mindset, right? So was there any 1 or 2 books that you remember reading at that time that you feel like had a very specific impact on your ability to believe in yourself again after losing it all? Because I imagine that was a blow to lose it all. And then to come back to where you did required work on yourself and mindset. Were there any books that you remember that you've read a few times that are like Bibles to you?
Yeah, there was one that I read twice. It's the only book I ever read twice, called The Slight Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Best book I ever read. I mean, it's just amazing. So I definitely suggest people get out there and find Jeff Olson's book, The Slight Edge, and read that. But like, as far as the blow that I took, I was literally just as happy then as I was when I had the million, or when I was roofing houses, or on the oil rig, or right now. Like every day, I don't really care where I'm at in life. What makes me tick is getting up and working all day long, and like putting in that work and producing and being productive. That's what helps me sleep good at night. That's what makes me tick. And so it really wasn't, I was like, oh man, I lost all that, but it didn't change my day to day. I was still going to get up and try to figure things out. Same thing I'm doing now.
So what do you attribute that to? I mean, were your parents did they have that kind of work ethic that made you tick that way and be wired like that?
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They did. My dad had me and my brother on a roof when we were 8 years old, cleaning up job sites. And by the time I was 12, I was laying shingles. And I watched him do it, and it made me want to do it. And the physical, it's like endorphins in my brain. When I put that effort in, it just gives me this overwhelming sensation. It's like it's a drug. I mean, to me, like there's that term workaholic, and it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's part of who I am. Like, I am a workaholic. Like, hi, I'm Ricky, I'm a workaholic. It's just who I am. So yeah, and that mixed with some DNA, like just how I'm wired.
Awesome. Now, I know that everyone listening is hearing you say 4 deals a week, 184 deals, and I'm a solo agent, and I'm doing all this other stuff. So what kind of support do you have in place in any way? Do you have an assistant? Do you have VA? Do you have anybody supporting you? Because you're also learning a ton with all this video stuff you're doing and production.
Yeah.
There's stuff that you do, and I'm like, I need to figure out how to do that. And then I'm like, Nicole, can you please help me figure out how to do what Ricky's doing? So do you have any support in place, or you just manage to get it all?
Yeah, I manage it all, but I have an assistant that handles all the real estate stuff. So I have one really incredible assistant, you have to have an assistant if you want to go big in real estate, period. There's no way around it, because you have all the administrative things that hold you back from making money, which is talking to clients, coordinating with clients, communicating with clients, dealing with clients, meeting clients, being with clients, and in front of clients is where all the success is in real estate. And if you can have an assistant take over all the other things, the paperwork, the putting stuff in MLS, the everything, processing everything, where you can just totally focus on being in front of clients nonstop, then that's where you need to be. Outside of that, I have somebody that works part time that helps me manage the incredibly large Facebook group that we have with the coaching business. And then she also does some letters for me and just some odds and ends. She just works part time. I've got Blake, who is a full time videographer that also helps me create Instagram content. He films and edits the Daily Grind episodes. And then I have a video editor in LA that I've just hired that's been editing more of my YouTube videos, because I was editing everything. And so I took a lot of that off my shoulders, because I was up till midnight, every night editing. And so I took a lot of that off my shoulders. And then I just hired a company out of Canada to help me with my Instagram videos, the actual videos. So, I'm putting pieces in place to try to help make everything more efficient and provide and create the best content possible. And just taking it one step at a time, though. I think a big problem is when people get ahead of themselves and they start hiring people too early. There's definitely a thing where people, you need employees, you need people working for you pretty quickly, but you also don't need to hire them too early. Like a lot of new agents will come right in and want to hire an assistant, and it's like, you don't even know how to do a deal yet. How are you going to train an assistant, or you don't even know what an assistant needs to do.
Right.
And so for me, I waited until I had 30 listings and I was kind of in over my head before I hired an assistant. I'm kind of notorious for waiting way too long to hire an assistant or get a videographer or get somebody. I wait way too long because I love doing the work. I wish I had time to do every little bit of it, to be honest with you, because I would do it all. But you only have so many hours in a day. But I do like going way too far past the point of needing someone so that I can really learn. Like I want to know, like when I hire that videographer or that editor or that Instagram guy or an assistant, I want to know exactly what they're supposed to be doing and what's possible. That way I can kind of gauge, if they're doing a good job or not, or I can help them see a different angle, that from my perspective, that might help the situation. So I'm really hands-on.
So that's interesting. And how's it been for you because we talk about this a lot with agents that are trying to figure out that when to hire piece. And one of the toughest times in my journey was when we had 17 closings in April and 17 closings in May. I had one person helping me who was my best friend at the time. And we were in chaos. We had to try to start hiring, but like you said, I feel like maybe I waited too long or whatever, but would you still continue to do it that way? Or do you find that like it's hard to bring someone onto a speeding train and then give them everything they need to get onboarded efficiently? Or do you feel like, there's no real right or wrong answer to that, I guess? I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think hiring way too early is a bad move. I think hiring way too early. I think as far as hiring later, I don't know. It just depends, because for me, everything's just kind of worked out. Like I found a guy right when I needed, I find people that I need right when I need them, and they happen to have the skills that I want, I don't know. I mean, I have a little bit of faith in the system too. I have a little bit of faith that everything works out. I don't worry about a lot of stuff. It's a big reason why I'm so productive and I'm able to do so many deals and do the coaching and all this stuff at the same time, because I don't worry about anything. I just have this overwhelming faith that everything always works out. If a buyer wants to buy and a seller wants to sell, the deal's going to happen. It's not really up to me to necessarily try to, finagle this or to stay so on top of stuff. I think agents spend way too much time monitoring things that need not be monitored. Pending deals and listings, it's like, just let them happen, and spend that time trying to produce more. It's a big secret to what I do, to be honest with you. I spend time that most agents spend monitoring their deals on getting more deals.
Got it. Okay. And what are your thoughts on when you have, I see this a lot, where there's a spike in volume, which is the greatest expected outcome of your efforts. And then do you feel like when you're hands-on in front of active clients, transactions, whatever you want to call it, do you consider that activity part of your sales process, or do you also then make sure to carve out separate time that's specifically gen that has nothing to do with the people that are in front of you? You may have already answered that for me earlier, but do you know what I mean? Like sometimes the experience we're having with a client when we're client facing can be part of our sales process or part of generating new relationships because we're going deeper with that person. Do you always make time to carve out the lead gen process on top of any activity you're doing with active people? Does that make sense?
Like, do I talk to new people while I'm still talking to current people? Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. Like the balance between new and old.
Got it.
Like if you're just focused on new, your business will plateau. If you're just focused on past clients, your business will plateau. You're not going to see any growth.
Yeah.
Right. You have to find the balance of both. Now, do I consider talking to the active clients or actively in the middle of a deal part of the sales process? Absolutely. Like every time I get a chance to talk to them, every time I tell them, about this inspection or that the deal's going good or anything like that, I see that as prospecting call. That is me pushing my business to another level. Every little talk call, every little conversation is me going a little bit deeper with those relationships, which are worth 10 to 20 deals to me. Every relationship's worth 10 to 20 deals to me, repeat business referrals and referrals of referrals. And then I have to carve out time also to try to venture out to find more, So right now where I am in my career, I'm actually cold calling past clients. I have thousands of past clients, and earlier this year, it's like, I want to step my game up. I want to do 4 deals a week. So how am I going to do it? And it's like, well, you could cold call new buildings, new complexes, subdivisions, or there's this database you have at the palm of your hand, who, haven't talked to you voice to voice in maybe a couple of years or 5 years or 2 years or 6 months or whatever. And there's thousands of them.
Yeah.
So I've really been calling, I've been spending maybe an hour. I've been trying to spend about an hour a day calling past clients, and it's been incredible. I mean, it's been amazing because I've been hitting these people up every week with a weekly email for, 12 years. I've been hitting them up with Facebook ads, retargeting to those same people, Instagram, postcards, sometimes I'll test little marketing ideas and I'll test it on those people. So, they've seen so much of me. They come down to the area, or if they live around here, they'll see my signs everywhere, so they know who I am. I've branded myself with these people. There's so many of them that it's like, why don't I just call these people? And it has been incredible. Every past client I'm calling, they're like, yeah, hey, Ricky, how's it going? Look, I'm looking to do this in 6 months, or this next week, or this in a year, or I'm going to do this or that, or I know somebody who wants to do this. I'm going to give them your number and all this and that. And it's been incredible. So I'm going to keep working my way through those thousands of people and try to get to the end, the other side of the rainbow, this 2019 4 deals a week thing. And it's looking good. Last week I did 6 deals. This week I got 3 that I'm trying to put together already. And so I'm just trying to, and here's the cool thing. If I hit 4, which is what I'm wanting, like last week I hit 4 by like Wednesday, I was hungry as hell to get number 5 and number 6. Like, just because I hit the quota, this is a big problem too. People hit their quotas and then they just kind of say, oh, I did good today. I can kind of relax and stuff. And that's not me. I'm literally trying to figure out where that next one's coming from right now. And I want it right now. I want it right this second.
I love that. Well, So another question I have for you is, you've alluded to the coaching, and I'm sure that there's people listening that want to know more about that. So talk to me a little bit about the types of things you're doing. Are these group coaching calls? Are they one-to-one? I mean, tell me the framework. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, they know what they're looking for.
Okay, yeah, basically, it's completely free. There's no catch, right? A lot of people say there's got to be a catch, or nothing's for free, or it's not even worth it because it's free. But actually, it's the best coaching program out there for free. I'll get paid on books and speeches and sponsorships and stuff later on. I'm not too worried about it. I just want to actually influence the industry and try to reduce that failure rate. But once you sign up and create a free account, there's a complete course. There's a full course that's step by step exactly how I built my business and what I'm doing to maintain my business and everything on the back end. So you have a full course. There's a 90-day action plan, and I'm always tweaking these things. I'm always tweaking the action plan, tweaking the course, tweaking the phone scripts. There's scripts. There's everything that you need if you want to build your business exactly like I've built mine. And then we do live training twice a month. So, like this week, I'm going to do a live training session on my weekly email. Everything that I do to build it, I'm going to build one. I'm going to take questions. I've already got a long list of questions I want to answer during the training. And, so the live training sessions could be me making live calls, or it might be a topic like I want to do one on Instagram, how to grow your Instagram, how to use Instagram to find customers, and how I've used Instagram. This week's the weekly email. So we may have different subjects, and sometimes I do a call-in show where, agents can call in and ask me questions live, and so there's a lot of value there. And also I answer every single DM on Instagram. That's the best way if you have questions, just to DM me there at Ricky Carruth, and I answer every single one of them. So yeah, I mean, it's a full service coaching program. You don't get like the hour-long one-on-one calls like all the rest of the coaching programs out there that charge $1,000 a month. But what do you need that for? I have a complete plan for you. You reach out to me if you have any questions. We do live training twice a month. What else do you need? And you can, we hold you accountable in the Facebook group. You post your results in the Facebook group of your call session or whatever you got going on. And that's how we kind of build each other up and hold each other accountable. So it has everything a normal coaching program has, that you need.
Awesome. Well, I love it. So what are the names of your books that you mentioned, by the way?
Zero to Diamond is the first one, and it's the basic core principles of how I operate. And then the second one is List to Last, How to Survive Every Real Estate Market Crash. And it's literally everything I learned in the crash and how you can set yourself up to be in a position where you're not worried if the market crashes or not.
Awesome. I love it. I'm going to order them both. Sweet. Well, I know you've got another call coming up here. You kind of alluded to it, but would you say Instagram is the best way for folks to get a hold of you?
Yeah, my coaching program, that's at zero2diamond.com. And then Instagram is the best place if you want to, ask me something or correspond with me there in some kind of way. And then YouTube, find me on YouTube. There's tons of content there. I'm up to where I'm doing a video every single day now. And so it's all quality stuff and just trying to pump out as much as I can and help as many people as I can.
Well, obviously, you guys, if you're listening, Ricky is an amazing wealth of value, knowledge, expertise, and make sure you go and find him on YouTube and subscribe. Follow him on Instagram. He's constantly sharing content for free. As he's mentioned, it's amazing. And, the more subscribers that Ricky has, the more folks that can find him and all this awesome content. So, man, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been just amazing. My wheels are turning. I'm like, oh my God, I have so many ideas. And I'm really excited. I appreciate you coming on the show today, Ricky. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I hope it really helps some people out there. So, keep doing what you're doing and, we'll just keep working together.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. As always, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, help us continue to attract these awesome guests like Ricky. And keep crushing it. Have an awesome day, everyone. Appreciate you as always.